What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Joe Morley Sports Show. I am Joe Morley, and today I have a special guest, and this guy is the fantasy football guru. Let me tell you, and he even does a couple betting. If you want some betting advice, you can get it from him. It's PiggyBankPickz. Sorry, man, I get that. I always get your guys' names confused because growing up, it's always and I'm not good at those. That's probably why I failed in school a lot, because of all this stuff. But like I said, PiggyBankPickz, PiggyBankPickz, and this is Kevin Banks from there. Oh man, I'm excited to have you on because I've been waiting to get at you, and I know you're a Dolphins fan, and I've been waiting. Like, all right, I'm gonna get him on here, and I'm gonna get you pretty good. But first, tell me a little bit about yourself so everybody knows who you are.
For sure. Yeah, man. My name is Kevin Banks, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised in West LA. I love all sports, but my first love is the NFL, man. I love the game. I love the pigskin. That's the name Piggy Bank. And then I love making, I love betting the football. I love playing football. I love the fantasy game. I love all aspects of the game, the culture and everything, man. I'm very competitive. So I have a motor mouth, but, I feel like anyone that's played football, man, we all got a little bit of that. Some of us are quiet, but, some of us are talkers, and that's me, man. So, yeah, man, that's all I got to say about myself.
Hey, that's what I do in my own fantasy league. If you don't have a mouth and you don't talk up, hey, the next year you're out. Like, this is what fantasy football is for. It's to see who the best is, and you got to run your mouth the whole year.
Just got to back it up, though, man. You got to back it
up. So I know that you do some fantasy football. Let me ask you this. I'm a big trader. When I play fantasy football, I love trading, and I'll trade every day if I could. And are you a big trader? Are you a big believer in sticking with the team that you draft?
To be quite honest, man, I go with the flow. You know what I mean? And I will always look to improve my team. So if that's via trade, that's via the waiver wire, depending on how your league is set up, if you're bidding or you're not, if it's a free-for-all, then, man, I'm active. So, I definitely want to look at any avenue, leave no rock unturned when it comes to, bettering my roster. So, yeah, man, I definitely will upgrade through a trade all day. But, I've been a part of some leagues, man, that they do this veto stuff, and I don't like it, bro. So I got an expert league that I got a very cool way that we're gonna, justify everything, every trade. So very excited for that.
So you're in the cancel the veto trades. Get those. Don't allow the vetoes to happen, right?
Yeah, man. I got some really cool plans, man. It's in the woodworks right now, man, but it's gonna come, to fruition real soon.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that. That's good. That's good stuff because I've never been a fan of veto trades in fantasy football. Most of the guy, if the guy doesn't know what he's doing, he shouldn't be in your league anyway. So if he's making a trade, he should know what he's doing. And basically you're the only one that knows the value of the player you're getting. If you feel like you have to overpay for somebody, then you overpay for him. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. That's why you have to draft a full roster, man. The way I give my advice, I tell guys, man, you got to build it from the top to bottom. And I know some picks are not going to be sexy, not be pretty, but if you want to follow the masses, go ahead, man. I consider myself an expert for a reason, and I'm confident, and I'll take my L's, take it in the chin when I need to, but I'm right most times, so I'll keep rolling with it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So, Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
You're a fan of the Miami Dolphins, right? So, are you a Tua believer?
Oh man, this guy is the best thing since Marino, man. I know we had Ryan Tannehill that was the 8th overall pick in the Andrew Luck RG3 draft, but I never thought he was the guy. I mean, he was a fucking right receiver for crying out loud. Sorry about cuss, but yeah. So yes, I'm very excited for Tua, man. Prolific collegiate quarterback. You saw what he did as a true freshman. I mean, he has a spectacular story, man. It's just the injury the injury history that scares me a bit. But there, if you go through Deshaun Watson's and Patrick Mahomes, they had a little bit of a history. Maybe if you look at that, I dropped to get back to your question, I'm sorry. Tua, hell yeah, I'm a big believer, man. Number one, you saw Cam Newton wear it, you saw Warren Moon wear it. but Tua's going to be a legendary number one, man. I'm very hopeful. And he got the skills, and he got God on his side. So,
hey, I don't expect nothing less.
I love Tua.
I expect all Dolphins fans to love Tua. And
Yeah, man.
that's what you said. It comes down to injury. If he could stay on the field, he should have a good career, and that's all you can hope for. Is just stay healthy.
Definitely.
So, anybody worth picking up fantasy wise on the Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys, three in particular, and because Ken Gailey's throws 58% of the time, so I'm gonna go with my boys, tight end Jasicki, late rounds. I think he has a lot of value. From coming from Penn, he shows his athleticism, and that's what the new tight end does. He can go over the top. I mean, guy has fancy footwork too, great size. So, and then my boy Devontae Parker, we saw what he did. It was a top 10 wide receiver, just like my boy Edelman too in the AFC East. So guys that are underrated. Devontae Parker has some injury history, and then he has beef with Gase that he was a healthy scratch with the head scratcher, but then against Adam Gase. So I feel like my boy Devontae Parker is going to do well, and then lastly, my boy Preston Williams is going to do very well. He's coming off a major injury, but he's young enough that he can come back, bounce back real strong, and we have great doctors nowadays. So Preston Williams, Devontae Parker, and Jasicki are all guys that you can get 7th round with I believe Devontae Parker 6th round he's going sometimes, and then Jasicki, man, I think he's past the 10th round or the 10th round. Gotta check my ADPs right now off the top of my head, and then Preston Williams is going really late in drafts, like 13th, 14th round. So great value for every single of those picks. So Dolphins, the only 3 fantasy guys I'm looking at.
See, I've always been a Jordan Howard fan. I don't know why. I've always been drawn to him from when he was on the Bears. Even last year with the Eagles, that he didn't perform that well, but he's just a big guy, and I hope they can get him going and get him some touchdowns. Fantasy, I don't know if he's worth it in fantasy, but I've always liked him, so I think that's a great pickup for Miami Dolphins.
I'll say this about him, and I feel like a lot of analysts don't do this, and this is my team, so I'm gonna specialize in this, right? But Howard is one of the top premier backs when it comes to blocking. And when you have like Ryan Fitzpatrick or a Tua, especially when you talk about injury history, you want the best protector out there and, chip blocking, whatever the running back has to do. And, Howard, that means he's going to be out there on 3rd down, because if you get blocked, you're going to be out there in 3rd down. And I feel like, Howard will get you those tough 3 yards and probably nothing after that. But he's going to get you those 3 yards. And he'll get the touchdown, red zone. And we beefed up the trenches with via free agency and in the draft. So I expect Howard to have a good season, man. Guy has to stay healthy as well, but I like it.
Now you ready for some tough questions? I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you the team and the amount of wins, and you tell me if you're going over or under on them, on those amount of wins. I'll start with your division. I'll go with the New York Jets. 7 wins, over or under.
I just did a post on that under.
Under?
He's getting fired this year for sure.
I just had a talk with somebody about the Jets too, and I was predicting 7-9, and he was like 6-10. We were around the same spot, and I was saying, Gase is gone. Gase is
the only way they become 7-9 or better. I'm sorry to cut you off. Is that they have? I could be wrong, but I believe they still have on the coaching staff Greg Williams as a defensive coordinator. And Greg Williams, man, he had an off year. He didn't have Mosley most of the year, man. But Mosley makes a big difference for that fucking defense. And the Jets are known to have a good defense since Rex Ryan days. So I feel like Greg Williams, man, he's a hell of a coordinator. And they can keep Adams and Mosley's back. Oh man, I think the Jets could be sneaky dangerous on defense at least. And we got to see what the hell Darnold can do. And Bell, biggest question mark at the running back position.
Yeah, I think it was a top 10 defense last year too. So we'll see what they. I'll give you an easy one. Here's like a soft pitch. You could probably knock this one out of the park real easy. I'll say Kansas City Chiefs 12 wins.
I say they hit 12, exactly 12.
So you'll take the even on that or whatever they call that. Yeah, because I don't see them going any higher. I think they'll take a little step back because their division got a little bit better. More tapes out there, so people should try to be catching up with them. But we'll see where they go. This one always. I've always been intrigued with this team, and it's always a team that I kind of root for. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm a Raider fan. You can tell, but it's the Detroit Lions. For some reason, I don't know, maybe because they always play on Thanksgiving, and it's always in your head that you always root for the underdogs, right?
Yeah.
So I'll throw out 6 wins for them. What do you think?
6 wins, man. I think I just dropped that today. The NFC North. I had them more than 6 wins. I think I had them at 7-9. So yeah, I'll take the over on that. I'll say this, man. The last couple of years, Matthew Stafford has been injured with the back injury, and then also his wife has been going through some pretty intense things, man. So his family, his mind was not necessarily on football. I think she had some kind of like tumor in her brain or something. So that's difficult to concentrate, and on top of the injuries. But you see the talent there. I mean, you see Jones, you see Galladay, and I'm a big Swift fan. You guys see my videos, I'm big on him. So he's gonna break that running back curse. And I don't know, Patricia is in the hot seat, man. So he better get some shit going. I mean, 7-9 might not even be enough to save his job, but I think they can get there with a healthy Stafford.
Hey, has Swift ever has he come and seen your video yet?
Man, you know what? I tag this guy all the freaking time. I'll do it all, try to get his attention, but he ain't looking. But it's okay, man. You know why? Because he's gonna do great things for me come draft day and in the season.
Swift, go see his video. Somebody, if anybody's watching here that knows Swift, tell him to go check out his video. There we go. I don't know if that will help. I doubt it, but somebody's gonna get to him, right?
Yeah, man. I love Swift. So I'll take the 7-9 over.
I saw this team yesterday, and I'll probably put a post up about it. So I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I'll throw the win total out to you. It's the Washington Redskins. I'll throw 4 wins out at you, but the post that I saw yesterday was Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network talking about how they could be a Super Bowl championship team this year.
Whoa. Hey, man, I respect Bucky, man, because Bucky, like, he watches film like no other, man. I respect his opinion. Sometimes, they're a little, out there here and there, but and this is one in particular. But hey, man, the guy's got to be bold, man, and shoot, that's crazy. I don't see that. I got a lot of steam. I had them at 7-9, and so people are like, "You're freaking crazy! Like you have that over the Giants." And I'm like, "Look, check this out, man. When you have a coach like Ron Rivera, a player's coach, you go to my Dolphins in particular. Tony Sperano, rest in peace, was like a player's coach. You know what I mean? And that team went from 1-15 to 11-5 the next year. Now I don't think they're gonna get double digits, but a coach like Ron Rivera gets the best out of his players because you that raw like some guys get hyped to it, man, and then they can level up. So they got Scary Terry, they got some freaking monsters, Kerrigan, Young, and Sweat like coming after the quarterback. I mean, Wentz, you better watch out and stay healthy, man, because those boys are gonna come for your head.
See, that's what Bucky was talking about. He said they have Ron Rivera, and then they also have Jack Del Rio as their defense coordinator.
That's underrated right there, man.
Yeah, so you put Chase Young, with them. I just don't think they have enough on offense yet. I think they're probably a year away, but I think I'm a big believer in Dwayne Haskins. I think he's going to struggle a little bit, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback.
That's an interesting story right there with Haskins and Daniel Jones. We all laughed at Daniel Jones in that pick, right? And then Haskins was like, "Oh, that's great value in the draft." That's what most of us were said in the beginning. But see, that's why I don't trust the masses, man, because one day you're all on them, and then the next day you're off them. Like the next year, like, come on, man, where's the consistency off his rookie year? Like, come on, you fell in love with Baker because he tied Peyton Manning's record, right, for most touchdowns as a rookie. And then the next year you're like, "Oh, this guy sucks." All right, so which one is it, man? Do you believe in the tape that you watch supposedly, or you just listen to all these analysts and form your own opinion? I mean, I don't know. That's some followership, but hey.
Hey, but that's the way it is now. A lot of people don't do their own research, and that's what I always fight people with. Like, I will always throw facts at you because facts will win my argument. I'm not going to throw an opinion at you and hope you fit. I want you to go by the facts. And like you said about Matthew Stafford earlier, Matthew Stafford is very underrated, probably one of the best quarterbacks in this league, and people would put him, out of the top 15 when really he's probably a top 10 quarterback.
Talent-wise, yeah, man. I would say this guy could throw 5,000 yards at will when healthy. Like I said, he hasn't been healthy the last couple of seasons, so reason I got the Lions winning some games, man.
You ready for some fantasy football questions?
Oh man, I've been ready.
Hey, throw the average draft position out of the window. This is just you. This is not looking at any stats. This is just in your head. You're on the clock for these guys, and Because I'm gonna throw this one at you. This one's pretty easy, but I like to throw this one at you because me and you have the same opinion on this guy, Barkley.
Okay. Yeah, number one overall, no doubt. I'm not even blinking.
See, no doubt. Me too. Number one. If I'm on the clock, number one, I'm taking him. I'm taking him over McCaffrey. That's just me. But
Easily, bro.
you get a lot of heat for that, right?
No, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of those guys. To be honest, I don't think you catch too much heat, and if you do, it's just some dummies, some airheads. But I don't, take any offense to that. But Barkley, man, is a generational talent. I mean, this guy is like, I hate to, compare him to a great legend like GOAT, AP, but I just see AP in him with better hands, Barkley. So in a system with offensive coordinators that I love breaking down all the time, you got the predictable Jason Garrett. He's going to clap his way and, bunch of rushing attack. I love Zeke. He was my number one rated running back last year. Didn't necessarily work out, but he's the safest running back in the game to me. You know what I mean? Like, safest pick you can make. But Barkley, dude, come on. This guy is a home runner anywhere he's at. He could take you. He could catch the ball. Or he could just rush. I mean, bro, he'll break it. His thighs, bro. Like, this dude is built like fucking in a lab or something. Like, Wolverine was made in one lab, and Barkley was made in another with AP. Like, he's like Mewtwo, bro. Like,
yeah. That's why I had to ask you because that's who I would take, and I knew you agreed with me, and I had to just show off a little bit to people. Allen Robinson. I think he's a number one wide receiver. I like that guy. But what do you think, with the quarterback position going on in the Chicago, where do you think he would – it's safe to draft him in the draft?
Like I said before, I'll take my L's. I won't, just, toot my own horn all the time. I wasn't a big believer of Allen Robinson last year, okay? And, when I keep looking at the numbers and then, he did what he did last year with that whole Mitchell Trubisky situation, and I just look back when he was with Blake Bortles and he still balled out. It's like he does not care who his quarterback is. This guy is so underrated. And I have to admit that, PiggyBankPickz and all my followers, I was wrong about Allen Robinson, man. I can't deny this man's consistency no matter who the quarterback is. That's a true receiver. I think he was number one versus, zone coverage. So, to all my fantasy heads, if there's a team playing zone coverage, the 49ers, whoever, like, it's over. Like, Allen Robinson's going to beat that. He was number one last year. I like him, man. I like Allen Robinson a lot. So
draft him with confidence. I'm good to draft him.
Yeah. He's not like I said, he's not a sexy pick. You're not gonna be like, oh my God, Allen Robinson, even though he's had more hype now coming to this year. But it's like a Chris Carson pick. Like, it's not sexy, but it's freaking worth it. Like, you're gonna get the production. So yeah.
I'll ask you more wide receiver questions. These two, I always think they get overlooked in drafts, and I always think they get undervalued when they put up good numbers. And I don't know why people it's not really sleeping on them, but they fall farther than they should, I believe. And that's the Rams wide receivers and Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp.
Interesting. Yeah, those guys are ballers, man. Let's take Robert Woods, for example. 2018, he was a top 12 wide receiver. I forget the injury that happened there, but that was also an explosive offense with McVay. I mean, McVay had an off year, but he's a freaking offensive genius. And like I keep preaching at freaking PiggyBankPickz, coaching matters. And McVay, especially in fantasy football, man, like, he can make it happen. But the question is, like, they don't have Gurley no more, so you have to see who's throwing in the ball. Jared Goff is horrible under center. Like, his numbers, I'm not even gonna bring it up. It's just garbage. Look it up yourself, guys. But when it's play action and they have a running game, oh my God, he's one of the best in the league. He's one of the best in the business. So Robert Woods, even if Goff doesn't, play to his best potential, if Akers and Henderson are not the answer, I feel like Robert Woods and Kupp are still going to bring great, tremendous value, and they shouldn't be underrated. I mean, those guys are great picks wherever you're drafting. Their ADPs are perfect, especially Robert Woods. I believe it's like the fourth, somewhere in the fourth. I forget exactly where, but man, I'm happy with Robert Woods all day and Kupp.
What about the best quarterback in the NFC South, Matt Ryan? According to him, Matt Ryan has always been, that quarterback that you can get in the late rounds. Do you think he still is that guy that people should target late in the draft?
Oh man, I have a big man crush on Matt Ryan, and especially like in this particular year, man. These whatever the hell it is, even odd year. This is the year that he gets on. And the last 2 times it fell on that year, in every other year, right? He was a quarterback too, back-to-back times. So in 2018, he was only second to Patrick Mahomes. Like, and I believe in 2016, he was, I forgot who he was second to, but he was second overall in fantasy. So Matt Ryan is going to ball out. And then you see it really developing. I know that Hooper's not there, but I feel like Hurst is going to fit, and be worth the draft capital the Ravens spent on him and then traded it away. And then you got Gurley. Gurley's going to open up that offense too, man. Like, people forget that, like, the running game has been kind of last year for the Falcons. It wasn't great. It's not what when Shanahan was there in the Super Bowl. It wasn't that Coleman punch. The guys weren't the same. Coleman not being there, but oh boy, that's still a free agent and it's going to continue being a free agent. So yeah, man, I love Matt Ryan. He's the best quarterback in the NFC South in fantasy football only.
Yeah, and that's what I think he was trying to say. That fantasy football wise, he's probably number one. And
my guy, man. I love him.
Yeah, and he's worth it, right? He's worth that late round selection. I think so.
I love him, bro. I'll be so. Last year I won a championship, right? And in the 6th and 7th round, I went back-to-back quarterbacks. I double-dipped a little bit. I like doing that. That's just one of my strategies I do here and there. And I got Matt Ryan and Deshaun Watson. I got Deshaun Watson first, obviously, and then Matt Ryan, and I won that league. I love just, the matchup situation. Because there's no quarterback you should be starting every week, besides Lamar Jackson and probably Mahomes and maybe Dak. Those are the only 3 you should start every single week. But you don't have to start that guy necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, if someone has a weak matchup, go for it, bro. It's not about the pretty names. It's about production. It's about matchups. It's about all that stuff, man. You got to factor all that. People forget that. They just think, oh, I got a nice name. I got a Ferrari. Like, bro, well, you're going to go off-roading. You think Ferrari's the best for off-roading right now? Like,
play the matchups. Play the matchups.
Exactly.
Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on here, man. Kevin, it's been good. And you want to tell everybody where they can find you at?
For sure, man. Yeah, you can find me at PiggyBankPickz on Instagram. Also, you can find us on Spotify at PiggyBankPickz. So yeah, check it out, guys. We have a lot of dope content. We cover it all: NFL picks, fantasy football, NFL talk. We do it all, man. And shout out to my boy Complicated Kai and my boy Christopher Piggs, because we the Piggy team.
Hey, are you guys gonna be doing daily fantasy stuff?
Man, you know what, bro? I'm not gonna post that, but I get so many DMs, bro. I got so many great relationships with so many great followers, man. I love my following. Shout out to my followers. You guys are the fucking most amazing people on IG, most active. I love you guys. Yeah, man. I get DMs all the time, so I'm gonna keep it to that, man. Hit up the DM if you have those questions.
Hey, because I've been getting hit up, and I'm always afraid to give those kind of advice because I don't like. Yeah. It's not my money, so I don't want to put other people's money out there. So I always tell them, what do you feel like? But if I could shoot them your way and get them to somebody who knows a little bit more and more confident in it than I am, I'll shoot them your way.
Oh man, greatly appreciated, man, for sure. Thanks for having me on, man. It was a pleasure.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys coming on. I love you guys' work, and I hope everybody goes and checks you guys out. So
for sure, man. Appreciate it.